Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast for today. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 7 things that I've discovered this year that are going to really help me move into 2020 in a very powerful way and prepare me for the next year and the next decade, and hopefully that will be able to help you too. So this is obviously a live video, and there is quite a lot of drama happening outside my place right now. So a boat caught on fire out on the marina out here, and I was sitting here doing a call, saw the whole thing unfold, and so there's lots of fire engines, and they've got the boats with the water and the everything, and I think they've put the fire out now, but there's a lot of activity happening around in the streets out here with the sirens and everything. So I apologize if it's coming into on the broadcast. So if you are here, everyone, I encourage you to say hello. Let me know where you're from, so I can give you a little cheerio, and make sure that that if you have any questions that come up for you as we're going through the broadcast, please feel free to ask them here in the chat box. And I also encourage you, if there's anything that that I'm saying or that I'm sharing that really resonates with you, please hit the little heart or the like button there, so I know that that what I'm saying is actually landing and is helping, which is great. So I can see some people are coming online right now, which is great. I see Petra Schwab. Hi, Petra. Good to see you back, darling. Helena from Lancashire. Good to see you here again, darling. Abraham, hi, how are you? And I've got Donna McGriff here from Little Rock in Arkansas. Good to see you back as well. Bob Dobbin, cheerio from Atlanta, darling. Hello. I've got Ali Lou from Adelaide in Australia. Oh, so Ali, I hope that you are staying cool. I have heard that the temperatures in South Australia, in Victoria, are just like astronomical right now. So I hope you're staying cool and staying safe. Petra's actually from Switzerland. I'm going to say that. Abraham is from Palestine. Wow, great to see you here. Zima is from Walden in New York. Hi, how are you, darling? We've got Derek here. Good to see you back, Derek. It has been a while since I've seen you, so I'm glad to see you back. Deborah Harrison from Melbourne. Yes, again, same to you, darling. I hope that you're staying safe and staying cool. I know my sister sent me some photos. I grew up in a town called Orange in New South Wales, and there's a lot of fires through like the Blue Mountains and everything, and the smoke is carrying all the way out to my hometown right now. So it is crazy, crazy times in Australia. So I'm sending good wishes, and I hope that everyone stays safe. Especially around this time of year, it's a terrible time to be affected by fires like this. So, yeah. So today, like I said, I'm going to be going through 7. I mean, I actually learned a lot this year, but I'm just going to top on just go through the top 7 for the interest of time, of things that were deep lessons that I learned this year that are really preparing me for the next decade, in the next year. And for me, it was an interesting year. And I don't know what it was like for you, but when I kind of look at the end of the year, I've realized, it has been a good year, and I've achieved, certain things, which has been huge. But I kind of felt like I had to wade through wet concrete to get here. I felt like it's, everything was really tough and really hard. And there was some, like I said, some big lessons that I'm going to share with you that I went through. Now, also, guys, if you are here on the broadcast, I encourage you to share the video. All you have to do is click on the share button. You don't leave the video, but it just shares a copy to your timeline. So it makes it easy for you to go back to, and it also gives us both some positive Facebook juju, which we're always after that, right? And some positive juju. All right, so let me go through some of my lessons. So my first lesson, the big thing that I learned, was the power of community. I think, we're going into our 12th year of being with Mind Movies, and, we started, if you know our story, we started just, in our bedrooms working pretty hard. And then, I remember back then when we were trying to launch Mind Movies and we didn't know what we were doing, or we were super stressed, we would, leave the apartment, we'd go down to the dog beach in San Diego, and we'd have these conversations in present tense, as if the launch was a success. And part of those conversations would be about the type of business that we were building. And part of that conversation was the type of clients or the customers or the community that we were building. I really have had a couple of big moments this year where I've realized that the community that we've been able to culture and that you are all a part of and that you participate in and that you show up, as yourselves in this community is really a powerful place for us to be. I can see that there's a lot of division, there's a lot of, angst, there's a lot of people on either side of, of the political fence. There's some crazy stuff happening around the world. We can focus on that and we can talk about that and we can be upset about that. Or what we can do is choose to create and choose to participate in a community that really is about inclusiveness, that is about togetherness, that is about oneness, that is about things where the topics that we're talking about are positive. Like, I don't know if you spend any time on the My Movies page, but there's so much positivity there and so much hope and so much, great things that are going on. And I've just realized how important that really is. So I'm grateful to every single person that's part of this My Movies community and to everyone that's watching this broadcast from now and anyone else going to be watching the recording of it. Thank you. Thank you for helping us to maintain, this big love bubble that we've been able to create with My Movies and to be able to participate in positive conversations. So I've realized how important that is and how we've really reached, what we talked about all those years ago. We have been able to get to that point. So it really does. It makes me a little bit teary, but it really does, expand my heart. And I want to thank everyone for being able to participate in that. The second thing and lesson that I learned, and I think this is important for all of us, but for me, especially for this time of the year, normally I'm home in Australia, but I'm actually chose not to go back this year. I have a whole ton of stuff that I wanted to get completed. And so because I'm not with my actual family this year, I'm with my soul family. And my soul family is this beautiful collection of souls that I am so grateful to have in my life. And when I think about it, I really have been intentional and deliberate about, seeking out people who are like-minded, who, are doing great things in the world, who I feel like I can be myself around and be authentic and be real and be vulnerable if I need to be. And I feel like I'm in a safe space with them. And I feel like I get the love and support, and I'm hoping that they feel that from me as well. So creating this soul family, so especially if you're someone who, maybe lives away from your biological family, which I do most of the year. Maybe 2020 is a year that you can really be intentional about how you create that soul family around you. So I also want to take this opportunity for everyone who is part of my soul family, and you all know who you are. Thank you. Thank you for expanding who I am, for keeping me honest, for enhancing, my life in so many ways that I can't even count. So yeah, soul family, really look at, how you can create that. And if you have a soul family and you've got a really good, group of people around you, just put the little heart or the thumbs up there. So I know that I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that's been cultivating, this beautiful collection of souls around me. Let's just say a few more hellos. Ali was saying, yes, had quite a few bad bushfires, but cool in Adelaide now. Well, that's great. Good to hear. Lucy Melendez, hi from New York City. How are you, darling? Zima saying, looking great as always. Thank you. Actually, I'm just recovering. I had the flu last week, but nipped that in the bud and going into Christmas in a very healthy place. Gregory Hammond. Hi, Gregory. How are you? Good to see you here. Wet concrete. Feel like I'm working my way through quicksand. Yeah, it's kind of been that kind of year. Has anyone else experienced that? If you have, let me know. Lila from Chicago. Good to see you here, Lila. Old Road, I think it is, from Denmark. Good to see you here, my friend. Kathy Hewitt. Hi, Kathy. Creating our own reality and feeling good in ourselves, right? I love that too. Raphael Norris, good evening to you, my friend, wherever you are. Petra's saying, I love the way to work with my movies. It supports me my way. Yes, my soul community is wonderful. I know how grateful we are that we get to have that. Susan Ralph, hello, darling. Good to see you here. Okay, so that was number 2. Number 3, and if you've been watching these broadcasts for a while, you probably have heard me talk about this. But I truly and with every cell of my being now completely understand what surrender is. And for some of you, you know that I've actually been to Rhythmia a couple of times this year. In Rhythmia, it's a life advancement center. It's set up specifically to do plant medicine ceremonies in a very sacred space, in a very supportive space. A lot of what I started to teach after I was there for the first time in April was talking about surrender and actually understanding what that means. I talk about the 6 steps of manifestation, how we have to, be in a positive vibration. We need to set our intentions. We need to get clear about what we want. We need to visualize, we need to take action. But then that last step is the surrender, and surrender into knowing that everything's happening in divine timing exactly the way it's supposed to. Doesn't matter how frustrating it can be and how impatient we get, everything is happening exactly the way that it's supposed to. We don't know what it's going to look like when it shows up. We don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know how it's going to show up. But we just have to surrender into knowing that every moment is unfolding perfectly. Now, for a recovering control freak, that was a really hard lesson for me to learn. And I feel like I've had a couple of things that have really tested me on this year. But I feel like I've been tested enough. I know I've got it, and I know that I'm embodying it. So every time I feel like I'm out of alignment, where I'm feeling frustrated or impatient or any of those kind of lower frequency emotions, I've realized that I just need to take a breath and surrender and go, this is the way it's supposed to be. So if this is perfect, then, what am I meant to learn? What am I meant to garner from this? What's the opportunity that's arising from this particular situation? So surrender. That was a big one. And the next lesson that I learned, which is kind of hand in hand with this, is the whole trusting thing. Trusting that that when the downloads come through, that there's something that I need to take, action on. So this last trip that I did to Rhythmia, the plant medicine was showing me how I second guess myself and how I doubt myself at times. And then I realized, because since coming back from there, my meditations have been very powerful, and I've had a lot of information coming through like it did when I was in the ceremony. But I realized that what I was shown was not me second guessing myself. It was second guessing the inspiration and the guidance and the messages that are coming through. So especially when it's something that comes through and you're like, ooh, no. That can't be right. I can't walk away from this project. I can't end this deal. I can't, end this relationship or whatever it is. And you're just going, really? And then I've been tested on it a couple of times in the last couple of months, whereas I had to trust that what was coming through was right. And then when I took action on it, what happened at the other side of it, the result of it, far exceeded anything that I ever thought was possible, and was so not even in my realm of what I thought was going to be an option. And a couple of times this has shown up in the most perfect way. So, moving forward, learning to trust. If you are going through your daily practice and you are meditating and you're creating space for this guidance to come through and this inspiration to come through, and you're doing all of that, you must trust what's coming through, even if it scares the pants off you, which a couple of these latest things really have. But I was able to take action on them. And like I said, it worked out really well. So, really leaning into that and trusting that, what's coming through was really important. And again, it's supposed to be happening. Number 5 was, that was really interesting, was celebrating the wins. It doesn't matter how small or how big they were. So like I was saying, I felt like this year I've been walking through wet concrete. Everything's kind of been a little bit tough. To be honest with you, I was very frustrated and impatient. I really wanted this children's curriculum that I know that I've been talking about for like over a year now. I wanted to be in schools already. I wanted that to already be happening. And I was so frustrated earlier in the year when I'm realizing that that it wasn't happening. And it's definitely not happening as fast as I wanted it to. And so, I had to, again, surrender, trust that everything was happening the way that it was supposed to. And then when I kind of looked at it, I'm like, well, wait a minute. We were able to finish building the program. We're able to build the platform. There's a win. There's another win. And I think, the biggest thing that I had a fear about was moving into this big project and not having the body or not having the ability or being the right person for this particular project. And I've realized as I look back on the year that if there's one word I can use to describe what my year has been like, it's been becoming. I've been becoming this person, becoming the person that can actually take on this project and take on what I feel is a big responsibility. And I remember the last time I was in Rhythmia, and I'm like, okay, I want you to show me what to do next. What do I need to do? Show me what I have to get done. And what I was shown instead was who I need to be. And the message that came through was like, but if you show up as this person, then everything else will fall into place, which I actually have seen has been happening. And I know that, when I've been doing, different meditations, especially the walking meditations with Dr. Joe Dispenza, walking into my future, I'm not quite sure what the future is going to be. So all I can do is walk into my future as who I am. And that's kind of been a big lesson for me. So, if in 2020, maybe something to look at is like, well, how do I be the person I need to be? Look at the goals that you have for yourself and look at how, what it is that you want to achieve for 2020 and go, well, who do I need to be able to do that? And so when you're not just focusing on the actions of moving towards that goal, but you're also looking at, well, how do I need to change the way I think? What actions do I need to change? How does my mindset need to change? What are the things that I need to do to be this person? That is more than 50% of the way. Because when you are being that person, you are the frequency, the vibrational match to what it is that you need to be able to attract to make it happen. So I encourage you to really think about, well, and ask that question, who do I need to be? How do I need to show up? And really, step into that. Okay. Number six is something I'm definitely going to be taking through to 2020. And that is being happy and comfortable with the beautiful no. There are some things that I've realized I need to shed at the end of this year or to release at the end of this year to be able to make space to step into this new, educational, place that I'm moving into. And I've had to really look at what my time commitments have been, what my time commitments will be moving forward. I've actually stepped down from a position that I've held at the Association of Transformational Leaders. I've been the chair of the steering council there for 5 years. I've actually stepped down out of that role. And I'm looking at all the ways that I'm spending my time and my energy and getting comfortable in saying no to some things that are not really propelling me forward. So if you look back at this year, at your year this year, what are some of the things that you may not want to bring through with you into 2020? What are some things that you may want to release and say no to in 2020 that will be able to free up your energy, your time, your mind space, whatever that is, to be able to move really confidently into this new version of you and what it is that you want to achieve? Okay, so there's some questions that you want to ask yourself. Okay, let me say a few more. Look, we've got a few more things here. This is great. Derek is saying 2019 has been a tough year. So many fake friends, failed business realizations, and constant health imbalance. Hope 2020 to be super blessed. So Derek, what I recommend is, when we do, and we can do a little journal, which I'm actually planning on doing before New Year's Eve, about a little, we take stock of what happened this year. And, we could list a whole bunch of things that, didn't really go our way, that we don't perceive as being positive. But, I think that, like, if everything's happening for a reason, we can look at that and go, okay, well, what did I learn from that? What would I be doing differently next year? How can I use this as a way to expand who I am, so that I can be this person? So really, looking at the story that we're telling about these past events. And if the story that we're telling is not propelling us forward and not empowering, then how do we flip that story to something that's going to be serving us? I think it's really good. Patricia Kuba, hello, Patricia. She's saying, not that I wasn't a positive person before I watched a video with you and Mary Morrissey, a whole lot of change, especially with money, and I thought I'd seen all sides. Wrong. I'm not the same person that started, but better, more aware, and so much more. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Patricia. I kind of feel like I'm a different person too. I don't think I'm the same person I was at the beginning of the year because of a lot of these lessons that I've been able to learn. So yeah, Derek saying grateful for the concerned. Awesome. Petra saying love you. Wish you a great time with your soul family. Yep, absolutely. Well, you'll definitely be seeing me next year. I am not going anywhere. Diana Dietrich. Hi, Diana. She's saying, my energy and love of life has become so low that I feel that I don't know if I've done anything right in my life. And if anyone has really cared for me, and maybe I've been a failure my whole life. So, Diana, I can feel you on this. I understand that and our life is like this. We're going through these ebbs and flows. And apparently astrologically, there's a whole lot of crazy stuff happening on right now. So a lot of people are kind of feeling like you're feeling right now at the end of this year. And like I said, I got to a point where I was just like, well, I don't even know what happened this year. It was just so tough. But then when I was able to, first of all, what I recommend is getting into a higher frequency. When we're looking at everything that went wrong, then all we see is more stuff that went wrong. Like one of the tips I said was, celebrating the wins. I had to really start to look deep and go, okay, well, what did go right? I was able to renovate my apartment. And even though it took twice as long as it said it was going to, I'm so happy with the result. We were able to, even though I wanted to be in schools already, it was like, no, but at least we finished the program. So, try and shift a little bit to what went right. Be grateful for those things so that you can raise your frequency just a little bit. And then, rather than going, okay, well, I'm going to carry this energy through to the next year, like what are the kind of things, and maybe start small. What are some positive things that you're going to change? What are some things you're going to be working towards? Are there some changes that you're going to make to the soul family you have around you? And look at some different things that we've already covered in the video that maybe help you to change and shift. Because once you start on that positive shift, and you get your emotions into these higher frequencies, that really is the beginning of where you start to see more possibilities. It's difficult to see those possibilities when you're kind of in that lower frequency. We need to get you in that higher frequency, okay? Great. Let's see. Susan Moore. Hi, Susan. She goes, I'm hoping to move forward a bit. Long, complex story, hard to do at 61. It can be challenging, Susan, but it's not impossible. And, I know that even with the USM programs that we run here at My Movies, I have people in their 80s that are, still going, well, how do I change and how do I move forward and how do I affect some positive changes in my life? So, I'm glad that you're part of this community because I think this is the best place for you to be able to, see those possibilities and be surrounding yourself with positive people. Jackie Newton, hi. Life has been tough these past few years. Just looking forward to 2020, new chapter, time to bring back to my true self. Here, I love that. Okay, so I've got one more, number 7. Number 7, this was a big one. My theme for 2020 is love. And when I say love, I mean love for myself. I mean operating from love. I mean, being in love with my soul family, having love for my family, inviting in a love relationship, everything to do with love. And one of the biggest lessons I got, especially from this last trip to Rhythmia, it was shown to me that I actually that I didn't love myself. And I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. I think I'm pretty good. Like, I think I love myself. But what it showed me is that I had lost connection with my soul, with the divine part of who I am. And I had a moment where I was with my inner child, and, she's a little 3-year-old, black and white, and she was very sad. And I was able to hold her and, and go, look, it's okay. We had to go through this, what we did in our life to become this person so that we can do this big job that we have ahead of us. And I was able to, have this union with her, and be able to tell her how much I loved her, how much I was connected to her. And so on a daily basis now, I sit down and I have this little love altar. Let's see if I can show you my little love altar here. There it is, just there. You can see with all the crystals and everything. And this is where each morning I sit down and do my gratitudes, and I'm connected with my inner child, the inner part of who I am. And so really loving that part of me and having that connection is also part of being able to, have that guidance and trust myself, which I could see that I wasn't actually doing before. And so, I encourage you to, to have, include in your daily practice moving forward in 2020, some place where it's not, I realized it wasn't just loving me, like as my accomplishments and things that I do, but loving that divine part of me. So when you're doing your gratitudes or doing your visualizations or your meditation of a day, have a little connection with that inner child, that part of you, which is the divine part. And when you're implying all of these different things, what we're doing is we're all in alignment. Our energy is in alignment, our heart, body, mind, everything is in alignment. So I can see that a few of you have been mentioning how tough this year has been, or how tough the last few years have been. And what I want for you is to go into this next year in energetic alignment. Now, I know my team are going to put a little link here for you, and the link is to our chakra healing quiz. So if you're going through, again, the quiz is really quick. Our quizzes are less than a minute to do. But what happens is with the quiz, it helps us to pinpoint which one of your energy centers is out of alignment and what you can do about it to get it back into alignment. It's completely free to be able to do that. So if you are feeling like you're a little bit out of sorts right now, I encourage you to click on the link, take the quiz, and let's see how we can get you back into alignment. So guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I will be back again next week. I'm not quite sure what days yet, because I know it is Christmas next week. And so if I don't do a broadcast before Christmas, I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a very happy holiday season, surrounded by people that you love, and surrounded by your family or your soul family, whoever that is, and that you really have a time where you can feel love, be nurtured, and to be surrounded just by love, love, love. So guys, thank you again for joining, and I look forward to chatting to you all again soon. Have a fantastic weekend. Mwah. All right, everyone. Bye for now.